Update, 8:50 ET. During his announcement from the White House, with Griner's family present, Biden spent a lot of time defending his administration from widespread accusations that Griner's release was prioritized because of her fame, while at the same time other detained Americans were left behind. And quote, "This was not a choice of which American to bring home," end quote, Biden said while vowing to continue working on freeing detained U.S. Marine veteran Paul Whelan, 61-year-old teacher Mark. End quote. Devastated, end quote. Whelan family has issued the following statement upon the White House announcement of Griner's release, despite the possibility that there might be an exchange without Paul. Our family is still devastated. I can't even fathom how Paul will feel when he learns. Paul has worked so hard to survive nearly 4 years of this injustice. His hopes had soared with the knowledge that the U.S. government was taking concrete steps for once towards his release. He'd been worrying about where he'd live when he got back to the U.S. And now what? How do you continue to survive, day after day, when you know that your government has failed twice to free you from a foreign prison? I can't imagine he retains any hope that a government will negotiate his freedom at this point. It's clear that the U.S. government has no concessions that the Russian government will take for Paul Whelan, and so Paul will remain a prisoner until that changes. End quote. To secure Griner's release, the president ordered Bout to be freed and returned to Russia. Mr. Biden signed the commutation order cutting short Bout's 25-year federal prison sentence, end quote, CBS reports. But the report underscores, end quote, notably, the Griner for Bout exchange leaves retired U.S. Marine Paul Whelan imprisoned in Russia. Whelan has been in Russian custody for nearly 4 years. He was convicted on espionage charges that the U.S. has called false, end quote, when Russian state media began first signaling that the Kremlin will pursue getting Bout back, and Secretary of State Antony Blinken starting over the summer hinted the administration was actually entertaining the possibility. It unleashed a wave of controversy, especially given Griner's own recent public displays, which some interpreted as, end quote, anti-US, end quote, most notably refusing to stand for the national anthem and even staying in the locker room during its playing. One commenter previously had this to say in summary of the controversial exchange for Bout, end quote, "It took nearly 10 years for U.S. to apprehend Victor Bout, and close to 3 more years to convict him for terrorism and arms trafficking. Allegedly, thousands of civilians in multiple African countries were injured and killed by weapons supplied by Bout. Fair trade for Griner, end quote. It's likely that the Department of Justice had been vigorously arguing against releasing Victor Bout, considering it took a significant extradition process from Thailand to even get him into U.S. custody over a decade ago. Before his just announced release, he was serving a 25-year sentence in federal prison after being convicted in the Southern District of New York for conspiring to kill Americans and conspiring to provide material support to terrorists. Already there's brewing anger that Paul Whelan, as well as another American locked up in Russia, 61-year-old teacher Mark Fogel, over the widespread perception that they've been left behind.